Please welcome Giverny.
Thanks. Thank you. Oh. That is a ridiculous photo. Hi everyone, it's great to be here this morning. I was kind of told yesterday, or asked yesterday to come and speak, and it's really good to see so many people here. So when I was given the topic for today's fast break about 20 hours ago, I started thinking about how the notion of a cure comes into conversations about sex and sexual health. I thought about STIs and bloodborne viruses, abortions and the morning after pill, sexual dysfunctions, addictions and fetishes, homosexuality, transsexuality and sex work. But mostly I thought about young people and how our emerging sexuality is so often medicalised and framed as problematic and as something that needs to be cured or managed by the adults. So from abstinence-only education to the forced sterilisation of girls with disabilities, our sexual coming of age is framed as an affliction to be cured by any means possible by the adults in our lives. No matter what we do, we seem to do sex wrong. We're too sexual, or we're too asexual, or we're not having the right kinds of sex, or our bodies don't look right, or our preferences are too abnormal. The lesson we hear from schools, doctors, the media, and our parents is don't do it, don't have sex. And that's often where it stops with a lot of abstinence-only education. But then if the lesson continues, it's, look, if you're going to do it, it needs to be penis in vagina, in a bed, in a two-person, heterosexual, committed, preferably married relationship, and preferably for procreation. And it needs to be missionary, and no fantasizing, and no alcohol or drugs, and you'll fall in love and you'll be together forever. But for most of us, this isn't how sex happens. And if it isn't like that for you, it isn't something that's abnormal or problematic or needs to be cured. It needs to be discussed and normalised and respected. Suffice to say, we've all been in relationships where we weren't sexually compatible. Some of us might never have had great sex or had sex at all, and that can be frustrating and confusing, but it's also part of the learning process. And if we were allowed to talk openly about these experiences and we could share our knowledge and start a positive dialogue about sex, it could teach us about our own sexuality and allow us to take ownership of what we want and don't want in our partners and our sex acts. So what are the things that the sex education system and wider social institutions fail to teach us, but are really the key to maintaining healthy sexual relationships? The first thing is masturbation. It's the best way to get to know your body, what turns you on, what works and what doesn't. How are we supposed to tell our partners what we want or don't want if we don't even know ourselves? It's not dirty, it won't make you go blind, and you won't go to hell, I promise. We're not really taught how, when or why to masturbate, but we should be. The second skill that should be taught is communication. Once you know what you like, you need to start sharing this with your partners and find out what they like. I'm constantly asked, how do I turn my partner on? Or how do I make my girlfriend wet? Or will my partner like it if I do X, Y, or Z? The answer is, even with a master's, I don't know. We need to provide young people with the skills, information, and vocabulary to communicate what they want to partners and to health professionals. And lastly, we should be taught about responsibility. And this means being informed about any risks, physical, emotional, or social, and taking steps to manage them. This includes agreeing on acceptable and unacceptable behaviours in the bedroom, or your sexual limits, using contraception, and ensuring you know your health status in relation to STIs to make sure both you and your partner are safe. Only by talking about sex and taking ownership of it can we stop the medicalisation, problematising and repression of positive sexual health. People come up to me at parties and because I'm a sexologist, they want to talk to me about their scrotums or their nipples or their love of porn or the Kama Sutra or rimming, or they ask me if their vulva is normal or if they can get pregnant by swallowing cum or if the blue waffle is for real. I feel like a walking dolly doctor, and I'm always more than happy to grab a bevy and have a chat to them about what they actually want to know about sex. This is what the education system, doctors, the media and parents need to be doing. Start engaging young people in mature and honest discussions to counteract their porn watching or Clio reading, which, while sometimes informative, usually only helps to solidify stereotypes, perpetuate myths, and make people feel like they're doing sex wrong. Usually they're not, and they need to be told that. Thank you.